Good afternoon and welcome to Pakistan Today from our Islamabad studio. I'm Chris Taylor. Iran has stated that any future understanding with the United States must include the immediate release of at least half of its frozen financial assets. Iranian Deputy Foreign Minister Kazem Garibabadi says the remaining assets should be unfrozen within 1 to 2 months after any agreement is signed. Tehran maintains that access to frozen funds remains a central condition for any potential deal with Washington, signaling that economic guarantees remain closely tied to future diplomatic progress. Meanwhile, U.S. President Donald Trump says numerous oil tankers have successfully passed through the Strait of Hormuz despite continuing regional tensions. Speaking to reporters, Trump expressed confidence that the situation in the strategic waterway could be resolved quickly. He also suggested that once stability returns, global oil prices could fall significantly and potentially move below previous levels. In Russia, President Vladimir Putin has reiterated Moscow's willingness to cooperate with countries prepared to engage on what he described as mutually beneficial and equal terms. Speaking at the St. Petersburg International Economic Forum, Putin said global energy markets are facing major shocks due to rising Middle East tensions and what he called short-sighted policies from European policymakers. He stressed the importance of balanced international cooperation to manage growing economic and energy pressures. Iran's ambassador to Russia, Kazem Jalali, says Tehran and Muscat are discussing new conditions for the future operation of the Strait of Hormuz. Speaking to a Russian newspaper, Jalali said the waterway would remain open, but could operate under revised arrangements jointly determined by Iranian and Omani authorities. He added that discussions remain ongoing and that the final framework regarding the strait's future will become clear in due course. Turning now to Lebanon, the foreign ministers of 11 countries, along with European Union Foreign Policy Chief Kaja Kallas, have expressed profound concern over escalating hostilities. In a joint statement, they welcomed efforts to implement the existing ceasefire agreement and supported the Lebanese government's attempts to extend state authority. The statement also called on Hezbollah to halt attacks and urged Israel to respect Lebanon's sovereignty, avoid further military escalation, and ensure civilian protection. Back home now, the federal government has announced another reduction in petrol prices, cutting the rate by 4 rupees per liter for the week ending June 12th. The new ex-depot price now stands at 377 rupees and 79 paisas per liter, while high-speed diesel remains unchanged. For more on this, we go to our Islamabad correspondent, Sarah William.
Thank you, Chris. Officials say this marks the 4th consecutive weekly reduction in petrol prices, with total reductions now reaching around 37 rupees per liter. Authorities say the latest adjustment reflects shifts in global oil markets, while tax and levy changes were used to keep diesel prices stable. Economic observers are closely monitoring whether the reductions translate into lower transport and commodity costs in the coming days. Government officials say pricing decisions will continue to depend on international market movements and domestic fiscal requirements.
Thank you, Sarah William reporting from Islamabad. Finally, preparations are complete for the Gilgit-Baltistan Assembly elections scheduled for June 7th. The Election Commission of Gilgit-Baltistan has imposed a complete ban on election campaigning 48 hours before polling. Under the Elections Act 2017, rallies, public meetings, processions, corner meetings, and canvassing activities have been prohibited from midnight on June 5th. Officials say security arrangements have been finalized to ensure voting takes place peacefully and transparently across the region. That's all for now. You're watching Pakistan Today. I'm Chris Taylor.